Sunday, late afternoon, here in early June, it is time for the 24th annual Nathan Pops Showstack Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game. My name is Mason Stoff, alongside my broadcast brother, Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. It's been a long day already. We've had an outstanding home run derby, but now it's time for all of the All-Stars to take to the field and show us what they have.
You know what, Mason? There's nothing quite like an all-star game, and especially at this level. These kids play for the love of the game, and there's going to be plenty of love and plenty of game to go around out here in Elliott Field.
They play for the love, but they want to win, and now it's time to meet our Brookline Youth Baseball All-Stars. Now just moments away from the start of the 24th annual Nate Pops Showstack Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game. Let's meet the players, starting with the American League.
Hello, my name is Dino Panza. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Orioles.
My name is Jake Levy. I'm 11 years old and I play for the Angels.
Hi, my name is Dylan Farrell. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Red Sox.
Hi, my name is Matthew Trumpa. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Orioles.
Hi, my name is Alec Grabner. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Angels.
Hello, my name is Kian Dean. I'm 12 and I play for the Red Sox.
My name is Theo Kaufman. I'm 12 and I play for the Orioles.
I'm Anderson Crompton. I'm 11 and I play for the Angels. Hi, my name is O'Sheen Dean and I'm 10 years old and I play for the Red Sox.
I'm Reed Stern and I'm 11 and I play for the Orioles.
I'm Ethan Pan. I'm 11 and I play for the Angels.
Hi, my name is Will Jakes. I'm 12 years old and I'm on the Red Sox.
Hi, my name's Connor Fry. I'm 12 and I play for the Orioles.
And now the National League.
Hi, my name is Max Carrier. I'm 12 and I play for the Pirates.
Hi, my name is Ryan Chase. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Padres.
Hi, my name is Mikey Sullivan. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Padres.
I'm Connor Chin. I'm 11 years old and I play for the Mets.
I'm Sam Miller. I'm 12 and I play for the Pirates.
I'm Aiden New. I'm 12 and I play for the Pirates.
I'm Max Gato. I play for the Mets and I go to Driscoll School.
Hello, my name is Cameron Galula. I'm 11 years old and I play for the Padres.
Hi, my name is Mason Vo. I'm 11 years old and I play for the Mets.
I'm Teddy Greenberg. I'm 12 and I play for the Mets.
I'm Svet Lee. I'm 11 years old and I play for the Pirates.
Hi, I'm Calvin Thorne. I'm 11 years old and I play for the Padres.
Those are your Brookline Youth Baseball All-Stars.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Now let's play some baseball. Players are ready. We are ready for some Brookline Youth All-Star Baseball on this Sunday afternoon. Mason Stalf, Jesse Mayfield, Sheehan, you met the players, now you get to watch them in action. And we are under the way. First pitch is grounded to third, across the diamond, not in time. And Dino Panza legs out an infield single on a really good hit baseball that Aiden New nearly gunned him across the diamond.
Yeah, boy, I mean, that was a great snag by Aiden New. The only thing that was better than that was the speed of Dino Panza going up the first base line for an infield single off the first pitch of the game. We're wasting no time here, Mason.
The American League, they will send 13 players into their lineup. The National League has 12. Panza, followed by Jake Levy, who's digging in there now of the Angels. Dylan Farrell, the top three, coming up to the plate in this top of the first, going up against Teddy Greenberg of the Mets, who we saw as an all-star last year and comes back for year number 2.
Kind of brushed him back on that one.
We've already had the home run derby here today, and if you hadn't had a chance to check that out, please go and do so. But now these pitchers are not throwing meatballs. They are throwing to get these batters out.
Yeah, but also got to make sure they find the zone. That's one of the key things, especially at this level, is maintaining control of your pitches and finding the zone. Not that time, though. 4-pitch walk.
So first 2 batters reach as Farrell will step in. Everybody's going to be moving around the outfield as well. Everybody getting a chance not just to hit, but also to play around the baseball diamond. And so at least in this first inning, left to right around the outfield, Mason Vo of the Mets. In center field, Max Courier of the Pirates. Right fielders, Max Gaito, also of the Mets. Infield left to right, Aiden New. We've already seen him make a nice snag over at the hot corner. Shortstop in this first inning, Cam Galula. Second baseman, Ryan Chase. First baseman, Sam Miller.
This one playable over the first baseman.
And it's in fair territory. And so the bases are going to be loaded. Levy had to hold up, thinking that one might have been able to be caught and was very nearly forced out at second. Mikey Sullivan is behind the plate in this first round. Did not have his best home run derby, trying to defend his ground, but still an all-star. Just making a nice stop behind the plate on the first pitch of the at-bat to Matty Ciampa.
And Mikey Sullivan's role is going to be so crucial in a situation like this. When you got to run around third, being able to block potential wild pitches is everything. So now I think it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Ciampa. Nobody out and the base is juiced.
Alec Grabiner up next, then Sandian, Theo Kaufman, Anderson Crompton, the younger brother, Isendian, Reed Stern, Ethan Pan, Will Jakes, and hitting in spot number 13, our sportsmanship winner for 2024, Connor Fry of the Orioles. Everybody's going to get a chance probably to hit twice. We might see a third trip through the lineup, depending on how these players hit, and these are some good hitters. That one took a funny hop off of the back fence, and the wild pitch allows Panza to scamper home from third in the first run of the ball game to the visitors, represented by the American League in this all-star game.
And that one just tough. You could see Sullivan trying to track it, but lost control. There's a bit of a dip in that backstop area that hides the ball a little bit, so he wasn't quite sure where that one was. But a 1-0 lead now for the American League to start us off.
American League being coached. I say, I'll put that in air quotes because he's also running a camera as that one takes a funny couple of hops over to short. They go the sure out. That will score a run as a good piece of hitting by the American League. Ciampa retired, but he does get the run batted in. It's 2-0. Arlen Showstack in his 49th year of coaching Brookline Youth Baseball, but of course this is an ASPN HD production, so he runs the camera and allows Mark Kaufman, his assistant coach, to do the actual coaching. He sets the lineups, did Arlen, and now lets Kaufman do the rest as Kaufman stands outside of third as the primary base coach for this AL squad.
Another nice block of potential wild pitch there as they've still got a runner at third. Dylan Farrell still on the base paths, although Jake Levy was able to score on the RBI ground out by Ciampa.
As Rabiner rips this one to short. Again, they go for the sure out, but another RBI ground out as this one goes 6-3, and it's 3-0 AL.
Back-to-back RBI 6-3 ground outs. Well played at shortstop by the National League starting shortstop Cam Galula. But still, with the early pressure they put on, they were able to get some runs across.
Kian Dean takes this one on a high chop to third. Another nice play, but another one where it's just a little bit late. Down the third base side for New, and an infield hit this time for Kian Dean, whose favorite moment this season echoes his younger brother O'Sheen. Kian and O'Sheen obviously playing on the same team, the Red Sox, and combining on an outfield assist during the year.
Now up is a member of the Orioles, number 7, Theo Kaufman.
Orioles, a team that will occupy the #1 spot in the upcoming Brookline Youth Baseball playoffs. 8 wins on the season, leading all teams. Just a couple of defeats and a couple of ties added in there, but the Orioles looking for another Brookline Youth Baseball title. Obviously the namesake for this all-star team, Nathan Pop Showstack, leading them for many decades, and now son Arlen has led them for similarly several decades. 49 years that Arlen's been a part of this community.
Boy. And when you compare it to a lot of, like we were saying before the broadcast, a lot of the other coaches still single digits in years coaching. There are some people that just love coming out here and coaching Little League.
Theo Kaufman, also an outstanding musician, loves to play both the drums and the trumpet.
This one juggled.
Yeah,
he reaches.
Was not handled cleanly by Sam Miller down at first. It extends the inning.
Let's go. Let's make a play.
I don't envy the Kaufman parents who have to listen to both drumming and trumpeting. Those are not the two quietest of instruments to be played in the home. And now Anderson Crompton of the Angels steps in.
There's at first and second, 2 down, and 3 runs already across for the American League here in the top of the first.
Crompton, also a member of the Brookline Bandits, takes this one. Going to be a tough play at short, and it will not be a play. Bases reloaded with AL players as they will send 9 at minimum to the plate. And here comes young 10-year-old O'Sheen Dean. I don't think it's an understatement to say he will have the smallest strike zone of any of the All-Stars in this game. O'Sheen, who's a catcher by trade, which is pretty impressive. You don't see a lot of catchers as 10-year-olds here in Brookline Youth Baseball, but O'Sheen making the All-Star team in addition to his older brother, Kian.
And that last play, that was a tough one for the infield. Yes, it was juggled a bit by Galula, but it would have been, with the good break that the lead base runner got on the ball, it would have been a tough catch at any base.
O'Sheen can play catcher, although he won't play catcher today. That's not one of his favorite positions. Prefers to either pitch, play short or center field, but can play catcher just like his brother, as that is a foul ball. You can see not pleased down the third baseline. New thought he fielded that in fair territory, which would have ended the inning.
It was right on the barrier, Mason. Like, if that had been a few inches more to the right, that would have been a fair ball and an easy fielder's choice force out.
Very nearly hit his older brother. Instead, he swings through strike 3. And the American League sends 9 players up in the top of the opening inning. They score 3 times. They do leave the bases loaded, and so more damage could have been done. We head to the bottom of the first here in this 2024 edition of the Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game. American League 3, National League 0.
Really just some good aggressive base running from the American League in that one. And Dino Panza really set the tone for that top of the first inning, Mason, reaching on an infield single that was well fielded by Aiden New at third base. I mean, at any other level against almost any other hitter, a play like that is going to get you an out, and some praise from the fans for making a nice play. But Panza just got on his horse, legged out the infield single, and from there things just kept cascading. Levi draws a 4-pitch walk. Dylan Farrell reaches on, what might have been called an E3, might have been called a single, kind of depends on the scorekeeper's definition.
It's an all-star game. We're not assessing errors today.
Then we'll call it a single. Loads the bases with nobody out, and although Galula did a good job fielding the next couple of 6-3 groundouts, there's a reason it's so much easier to score when the bases are loaded with no outs, and that's you have some outs to give. And again, just good jump on the base running made it so there couldn't be a play at home, there couldn't be a potential double play ball or anything like that, and just allowed them to get some runs on the board.
We saw those American League coaches. We mentioned Arlen Shostak and Mark Kaufman of the Orioles, Bill Hamilton of the Angels. Just his first year coaching in the Brookline Youth Baseball Majors, though he's been with the organization for the last couple of seasons. Seth Schofield, also of the Red Sox. John Chase leads the Padres. So you got the Red Sox and the Orioles as the primary coaching staffs on the AL side. For the NL, John Chase and John Galula of the Padres. John Miller of the Pirates, along with Josh Courier, also wearing the black and gold, and then Jeff Greenberg of the Mets. Take a look at the starting lineup for this National League. Mentioned Courier, the coach. Max Courier, the player, leads things off. Member of the Pirates, followed by Ryan Chase and Mikey Sullivan, as the Padres and the Pirates occupying the top 3 spots in the batting order, and the Pirates occupying 3 of the top 6 in the order, as Connor Chin, our home run derby champ of the Mets, will bat cleanup. Sam Miller, Aiden New of the Pirates, bat 5-6. Max Gaito bats 7th of the Mets. Cam Galula of the Padres hits 8th. Mason Vo of the Mets and Teddy Greenberg of the Mets bat 9-10, with Svetliko of the Pirates and Cal Thorne of the Padres rounding out the order. Take you around the outfield for the AL after this first batter, as Courier takes ball 1 low.
There's the first strike from the pitcher, Anderson Crumpton. This one dropped right in front of the catcher, picked up, thrown to first.
Ooh, they said he was safe. That was a tight play. It was also very close to actually hitting Courier on his way through.
That's what's always so tough whenever you got a ball up the first base line, Mason, whether it's a dropped third strike or some kind of a drag bunt or something like that where you just drop it in front of the plate. The catcher's got to throw around the base runner and still find the first baseman.
Also got the note, Sean Eubanks, also one of the coaches here for this Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star game. For the American League in this first inning, and again, we're going to have to do a lot of resetting of where players are in the field, as the defensive rotations will shift at every inning as well. In the outfield, it's O'Sheen Dean in left, with Matty Ciampa in center, Jake Levy in right. Around the horn on the infield, Farrell at the hot corner, Panza over at short. As that one grounded to the third baseman, gloved by Farrell across the diamond, and he threw it away.
That's out of play.
Everyone to move up a base, so it'll be second and third as Courier and Chase, both in scoring position early for the always dangerous Mikey Sullivan.
And again, we see the struggles of infielders at this level needing to make such quick throws because the base paths are so much shorter. Easier for a guy to leg one out for an infield hit at this level, and that rushes the infielders and can cause them to make mistakes.
That's why it's so impressive what softball players do, because this is the natural size of a softball diamond, the 60-foot base paths, the 45-plus foot circle to home is on the wild pitch. Courier scampers home in the National League, not wasting any time. They've already pulled one of the 3 runs back. We finished the defensive alignment. Theo Kaufman at second. Over at first, Alec Rabiner, excuse me. And then Kean Dean behind the plate doing the catching for the hurler Crompton.
Boy, we're getting sort of a mirror of the top half of the first inning as both teams score their first run of the game on a wild pitch. Again, that's why it's so important to have good catchers at this level. And really at any level, catching is such a valuable position.
Sullivan gives that one a mighty hack. Mentioned that he did not have his best defense of his home run derby crown from 2023, but you give him something to hit and he will deposit that one out by the houses that line the left field fence here at Elliott Ballpark. Perfect day here west of the great city of Boston. Brookline Youth Baseball at this point as ingrained in the community as any youth baseball organization you'll see anywhere. As Sullivan deposits that one back up the middle. A huge shift in the outfield leads that to an easy double as the center fielder was playing the pole, but much too far into right center by the time he tried to get back over. There was nobody to cut it off before it got to the wall. An RBI double for Sullivan, and it's 3-2. And we go from last year's home run derby champ to the newly crowned home run champ in Connor Chin.
Boy, just kind of an overcorrection on that shift. I've never seen a center fielder that far out of center. And so Mikey Sullivan sent one into the gap in straightaway center as Chin gets plunked.
Chin with by far the most impressive bat here on this Brookline Youth Baseball Day. Shaped like the Ticonderoga pencil. And it certainly had enough style, and he had the skill to wield it in that home run derby that ended about 45 minutes ago. And if you didn't get a chance to tune into that one, be sure. Another outstanding ESPN HD production. It's a long day for these young men and their families as well. Do not forget them.
Another wild pitch. And that's going to put runners in second and third as both Sullivan and Chin advance.
Tough start so far on the hill for Anderson Crompton. We'll see 6 different pitchers for both teams, barring an early switch. And we have seen that in previous All-Star games. They will go to the pen early in the inning if they need to. Expecting to see Will Jakes in the second inning. But we'll see if Crompton can at least get that first out.
It's a tight game already at 3-2 as the NL has responded very well to that strong first inning from the AL.
And Sam Miller, good hitter from the left-hand side. Miller followed by Aiden New, who we saw make some good defensive plays in the top of the first inning over at third. Oh, very close pitch, deemed just high. Jesse, when you and I arrived, we were watching the end of the minor league All-Star game. I think that one would have been a call to strike in the minor league game, not so in the majors. That is strike 3 as the first out of the inning comes as Miller swings through the high fastball.
That's a big first out to get for Crompton and the defense after the tough start they've had here in the bottom of the first, trying to protect their lead.
And that will bring in New.
Good
stop
recovery.
behind the plate. Kean Dean making a gorgeous stop. Third year at the major level for Aiden New, 12-year-old now. Also a member of the Brookline Bandits. Skies this one out of play.
Yeah, I think he didn't know where that one went. If he had seen where that one was going, he wouldn't have, started jogging up the first base line. I think he just lost track of it. so tough, not only just controlling your pitches at this level, but also contending with the much smaller strike zones that we have at this level with the younger kids.
And also, it is with the artificial pitcher's mound, you don't quite get that same level of plant, particularly on your landing foot for the follow-through. You can't rebuild a mound every single day, so as a result, you have the artificial mound out there, and it's a bit springy. You don't get quite that same level of purchase. The cleats slip a little bit, and it's really tough on these pitchers.
And it was tough on him there as New draws a walk. Base is now loaded with 1 out, but I will tell you, not as big of a setback in that situation to give a free pass, because that creates a force at every base.
The American League sent 9 to the plate in the top of the first. The National League has already sent 6. This is number 7, and Max Gaito grounds that one and returns it up the middle. That'll score a run, and everybody's safe.
Boy, that was such a close play at second. Took a weird hop off the artificial mound. And second baseman for the American League, Theo Kaufman, almost had it in his glove, and if he had been able to secure it on the first grab there, he would have been able to tag the bag in time to at least get a second out. But hustling up that first to second base path was Aiden New, and he slid in quick.
I would love to know what Kian Dean is saying out there to Anderson Cropton. Again, these are two guys that play on different teams. They obviously know each other well, but I'm not quite sure exactly what Dean knows in terms of the arsenal of Crompton, but whatever he said, that pitch was filthy. Ducking into the left-handed hitter, had a little bit of slider action to it, and making Cam Galula look silly.
That one missed, but a good block by Dean there. Oh, but then a throw to third gets away, and coming in to score is Chin.
And that will give the National League the lead for the first time. So a 3-run top of the first erased in its entirety, and now it's the NL who has the 1-run edge. Strike 2 on the swing through.
Caught him chasing it high. You know, mixing it up with that, when he gets that low dipping ball working, he's able to mix it up with the high heat there.
Usually in these all-star games, you want to pitch to contact, but there are so many players on these all-star teams that can put the ball in play that it puts a lot of pressure on the defense behind you to make plays, and we've seen a couple of funny bounces and a couple outstanding pieces of base running. Is that one? They split the gap. Hustling over to grab it is the right fielder. Levy tries to bring it in quickly, almost escaped the third baseman, but Farrell was able to corral it, but not before the National League scores again, and it's 5-3 NL. And
Mason,
time is called.
Mason, you were talking about an outstanding piece of running. That was an outstanding piece of hitting there from Cam Galula. Probably the best hit ball we've seen so far in this game as he laced that one out to right center. You know, nothing cheap about that. We've seen like some base running hustling on some grounders, a lot of balls in the infield. Even Mikey Sullivan's double was a bouncer up the middle. That one, the highest flying ball we've had so far.
And with the Brookline Youth Baseball Playoff is another nice stop made behind the plate by Kian Dean. Coming up later this week, nobody's going to be trying to throw these pitchers too much. This is obviously an exhibition. This is for the fun of the game, for the fun of the players and the families behind them, but obviously everyone has their eyes set on a potential Brookline Youth Baseball Championship, and so nobody's going to exert themselves too much in terms of the pitching. But that's really on the coaches to make sure that the pitchers don't overexert themselves. They're going to go out and throw as best they can.
And we've seen a couple of first inning frames here that have really pushed the pitchers that have been sent to the mound. That one was a better ricochet for the catcher, as Dean didn't have to go too far to chase that one down. Sometimes the way it ricochets makes all the difference.
Mason Vo in the batter's box, as both teams have sent 9, and the National League is barring a double play ball, which would be interesting with runners on second and third. Barring a double play ball, they will hit double digits here in this first inning in terms of batters sent up there. And they will reload the bases as one batter in Mason Vogt will pass it to another in Teddy Greenberg, who was on the mound for the NL at the top of the inning and now comes to the plate with the bases loaded in the bottom.
He's already gone from a potential pitcher on credit for the loss to a potential pitcher on credit for the win as his team takes the lead. Really flips the script on things.
Greenberg, the 12-year-old. Highlight of the year, his team's walk-off against the Pirates. One of many players who list Fortnite as one of their interests, but he has also my favorite hobby of anyone, and that's fighting with his brother. You know, there are some pastimes that never go out of style, and fighting with a sibling is one of them. I'm not quite sure what Mr. and Mrs. Greenberg feel about that, but ultimately, when you're a young kid, fighting with a sibling comes with the territory.
Yeah, I can't pretend that wasn't the case when I was growing
absolutely.
up.
In my case, it was my little sister, but I think the two of us enjoyed the little friendly sibling rivalry. Get along a lot better now, though, I will say that.
As Greenberg draws the bases loaded walk, brings in.
5 runs in for the National League now. Is that 5 or 6?
That is 6.
It is 6. So the National League fell behind 3-0 and spit on that. Have completely flipped the script around, and we're still in the bottom of the first. We'll see if 6 innings are played before daylight forces this one to end. And the way this first inning has gone, not quite sure what's going to actually bring this to an end.
That is absolutely true, Mason. No lights out here at Elliott.
Some of us have work tomorrow. Actual jobs. It's not summer vacation for all of us, although I believe that these young men probably still have another couple weeks of school left, as that one sails high.
And they back off. Probably the right decision from Galula there. Again, a favorable ricochet. It was just a bad enough look that made the runner think he could make it to home, but it ricocheted fast enough that the runner could get back.
Universities and seniors in high school at this point have graduated, but junior high level.
Did they just walk him again?
They did, and I think that's Crofton's day.
And that's just tough. You know, I talked about how tough it can be to find the strike zone at a younger age with less control against younger players with smaller strike zones. That's just a tough way to go out off back-to-back bases loaded walks.
And all you have to say as a pitcher is you're never going to face a better lineup than this, because it's an all-star lineup. So if you come out here in a playoff game, you're not going to face the same caliber of hitter, 1 through, in this case, 12 in the lineup, where every single player can do damage. So you just put this one behind you. Yeah, it's not the performance you wanted. He's still going to hit. There's no doubt about that. And now you get an opportunity. Rest that arm, and you're going to need Anderson Crompton in the playoffs if you're the Angels. There's no doubt about that. So,
well, he's going to be replaced by an Angels teammate, so the Angels working their bullpen as they bring in number 13, Ethan Pan.
Pan, who we're expecting to see catch the next 2 innings defensively for the American League, but will come in as a relief pitcher. So assuming that stays the same with everything else, we still expect to see Jakes pitch the bottom of the 2nd inning.
And after Svetli Ko drew the second consecutive bases loaded walk for the NL, they are going to make it all the way through the order as their 12th batter, Cal Thorne, is coming up to the plate.
We'll also see Pan hit in the next inning when we finally get there, as National League still threatening for more. Svetli Ko, Cal Thorne, as Jesse mentioned, wrapping up this batting order for the National League. Thorne takes ball 1.
And this is what can be so tough when you're just coming in as a reliever in a tough situation. You don't have time to find the strike zone. And then sometimes that happens.
Everybody moves station to station. That was very close to a force out at second.
Very close, but the AL still not able to get that second out. Vo comes in to score off the RBI single from Thorne, and we cycle back to the top of the order with Courier.
Calvin Thorne, also a little bit of sibling rivalry, as his favorite highlight of the season was pitching a complete game shutout with his little, and I kid you not, he writes bother and then puts in quotation, sorry brother, Peter. that is outstanding. That's peak humor. You don't get much better than that when you throw your little brother under the bus.
It's only a one-letter difference for a reason.
Yep. And so the National League extends their lead, and Max Courier up for the second time in the first inning.
Courier led this inning off with a single. He came in to score on a wild pitch for the NL's first run, and he's seen his team bat around just one out in the first time through the order.
Courier, who will essentially act as a designated hitter for this at-bat because he's not scheduled to field in the second inning, and will come back in. We'll see him on the mound in the fifth. All things go according to plan, as good play on the mound by Ethan Pan. Read the force out, came home with it, and is able to beat the hustle of Teddy Greenberg.
Important second out to get. Didn't really have a chance for a double play. Double play is so hard to come by with the shorter base pads, and made the smart choice going home, preventing a run.
So further damage avoided for the moment. There's another nice stop behind the plate by Dean. Now Ryan Chase for the second time.
Chase reached on that wild throw from third. His last time up, managed to go to second off that one, and later came in to score. Now facing a 1-1 count after that strike pitch.
Chase claims that he has perfected the delayed steal. That's perfecting something that is considerably out of style at the major league level, but I wish more people would perfect it. And here we have a 12-year-old who's done it. Amazing.
Well, you see it a little bit more at the high school level. Still a bit occasional, the delayed steal, but you still see it from time to time.
As that one hit to third, and there was a force at any base, so we have a very unconventional 5-6 force, or 6-5 force.
No, I think no,
it
you
is
were right.
5-6. It was third.
You're
it
right.
was third to short, so 5-6 force at third to end it, but not before the National League scores a handful. They turn around a 3-0 deficit, and now lead by a handful heading into the second inning. We're going to take a pause. When we come back, the second inning on the way. National League on top early in this 24th annual Nathaniel Pop Showstack Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
To the top of the second we go for this Brookline Youth Baseball Majors All-Star Game. Mason Stelf, Jesse Mayfield Sheehan on this Sunday afternoon that has now trickled into the early evening. Could not ask for a better weekend or a better day. As that one ripped off the glove of the first baseman, there's no one covering, and it will turn into an infield single for Reed Stern. Well, if that one was tattooed, would have been a highlight reel defensive play, but Stern will reach.
Yeah, no, those are the kind of plays at higher levels you say, oh, what a nice catch made, but an expected catch made. Here, it's not even expected. It's just a nice catch. That would have been a tough ball to make for Sam Miller at first, and it just goes in and out of the glove.
Miller, the only player for the National League who was at the same position that he started the game. As in this second inning, new pitcher is Svetliko of the Pirates. Ko kicks, fires, and that one will escape. Should allow the runner to advance, but he was hesitant, and it's really close. What's the call?
Drop the tag. No.
Oh, they call him out.
Are they saying he dropped the ball after the tag?
I think they corrected it now. I think they did.
Yeah, it looks like they're debating the point.
And still standing. Now the base got dislodged. It looked like Stern was barely in there ahead of the tag anyway, at least from this far away. But looks like that call is corrected. The dropped tag, making it a successful reach, but that was a lot closer than it probably needed to be.
Absolutely.
After an outstanding throw from behind the plate by Connor Chin.
And really, that was just a lot of problem with hesitation by Stern. You know, we've seen a couple wild pitches ricochet.
As this one will spin and touched in foul territory. Although that's one where if you could have fielded it in fair territory, you're right there. All you do is tag the base runner.
Yeah, no, I think he tried to field it in fair territory, just couldn't get there fast enough. You know, but a lot of times when you're taking off on the bases like Stern was on that wild pitch, you can't hesitate. I know we've seen a couple of defensively favorable ricochets on wild pitches. When you make a decision, you have to go for it.
3 new outfielders from 3 new teams. New in left with Chase in center and Greenberg in right. I'll give you the infield in just a second. As working a walk is Ethan Pan, who came in to finish at bottom of the first as the pitcher, and he's on base, so first and second. And nobody out for Will Jakes, who also participated in the home run derby. Advanced past the first round, was one of 9 of 14 that did so. And that is a foul ball. Connor Fry will stand on deck, and he will complete the batting order for the American League. National League on this infield side of things. Max Gaito over at third right now. Cal Thorne at short. Cam Galula at second. Sam Miller, as we said, remains at first, the only player to stay in the same spot. Connor Chin behind the plate doing the catching for Ko.
0-2 now, the count to Jakes. That one misses. First and second with nobody out, and we're seeing a lot of things bounce the offense's way for both teams early in this one.
And we had that happen last year too in the All-Star game. Very high scoring, but very tight to the very end. As Jakes down on strikes.
And now up comes our Sportsmanship Award winner.
Obviously, someone well deserving of that award. You can see that award presentation is part of the coverage of the home run derby from earlier. But to briefly sum it up, an individual who, according to Holden, who helps run this league, as that one ripped over toward Mr. Arlen Showstack, who didn't even flinch. And we have no camera evidence to say he didn't. But Connor Fry talked about how he is constantly attending games, even if he's not even going to play in them. He is here to support his teammates, to support the other players in the league. Shows up on time, which according to Holden, and rightfully so, means showing up early, leaving late, and just breathing the sport of baseball.
2-1 count, and now a 3-1 count to Connor Fry. With runners at first and second and one down.
Fry, now that he's been playing a lot more recently, has performed extremely well. Puts his highlight of the year, going 4 for 5. Couple of runs driven in against the Red Sox. Right after he was cleared to return to the field by a doctor. I'm not sure what caused him to need to see the doctor in the first place.
But we know what's going to cause him to see first base here, and it's a payoff pitch walk.
Well, the key is if you don't say what the issue is, then you can make it something really gnarly, something really cool, something that impresses people.
Yeah, like I survived a gator attack.
Right. According to Arlen to our right,
I mean,
it's
look,
an
there's
arm
a gator
injury.
that came up right after him. Oh, wait, that's just the helmet.
Right. And do we know if it was an arm injury from a gator? No, we don't. But it could be something a lot cooler than just your typical athletic arm injury.
And now the man with the gator helmet at the plate, Dino Panza, as we cycle back to the top of the order, and he takes the first 2 pitches for balls.
Key is if there's a girl at school he likes, it's definitely something cool. That's for sure.
Bases loaded, 1 out.
I was told it was just due to pitcher's arm, but that's not fun. That's not cool. It's not cool enough.
No.
Yes.
As that is caught around the shoelaces, but a sac fly does score a run.
Basket catch out there in left field. Really nice job by Aiden New, who has really been targeted, and it's a live. No, it's not. It should not be a live ball. The umpire called for time. Trying to be aggressive, Ethan Pan was trying to scamper home. It stays as the sacrifice fly is. They've really targeted New. He had a couple nice snags over at third base, now moves out to left field, and again is involved in the play. They check third to make sure nobody tagged early, but if you get someone for leaving early in an all-star game, that is particularly aggressive. But they're going to check this. Did the runner leave early from third base? I have to think my analysis of most Little League All-Star umpires is they weren't looking. They probably weren't looking.
I know I wasn't looking. I was filling out my my scorecard here. Just to update
that
off
is
the last
particularly
play.
aggressive to check down at the third base side to see if somebody left early on the tag from an all-star game. Again, we say that they're playing for pride, but they want to win, and that is clearly an attempt to win.
There's pride to be had in winning.
There is indeed.
Now at the plate is the Angels' number 6, Jake Levi. And he's facing a 1-0 count. And now a 2-0 count as that one misses as well.
Levy, who will pitch in the next inning. Expect to see Will Jakes in the bottom, and then
that's through the gap, and 1 run is in. An RBI single for Jake Levy. He's stretching it out to second, and he gets there before the ball gets back to the pitcher, so he stretches it out.
You get the feeling if either team is able to throw a scoreless half inning up there, it would be huge because the offenses are rolling right now. Levy being aggressive on the base paths, and why not?
Ethan Pan comes in to score on that one, cuts the lead down to 8-5, and now we've got another ball in play, likely to make this 8-6.
It's a good play by the
Oh,
shortstop.
no, wait, no, it's not. That's third out. I forgot. That was out number 3. They had the strikeout, the sac fly, and now the ground out.
Yeah, that should
That's
be
3 outs.
Yeah, he said that's 3.
And the umpire has it right.
Yep, they you know, a little bit of buffering speed, but they got it.
A little bit of buffering speed on my part too, but that's a good play by Cal Thorne. Thrown across the diamond to Miller, and that will retire the American League in the top of the second inning. So they do get a couple of them back. Entered the inning down 8-3. It's 8-5 as we head toward the bottom of the second inning. We'll stay here with you as the National League batted around in that first. And so after they sent 14 players up to the plate in their first inning, we'll start with Sullivan, then Chin and Miller in the bottom of the second.
Boy, that's a gauntlet to face right off the bat for the new pitcher for the American League, Will Jakes, as he takes over for the Angels pairing of Anderson Crompton and Ethan Pan, as Pan will now be taking the other spot in the battery this inning.
We were curious, based on the injury issues, if Jakes was going to get called up to the Red Sox. to pitch as a reliever in this series against the Tigers. He was not, but as a result, he will pitch in this All-Star game.
Hey, listen, all you guys in the minor leagues, I know you've been training your whole lives to get up to the professional level, but there's this kid named Will down in the town of Brookline, Massachusetts. We think he's really got the stuff.
All of the minor leaguers have already been called up, and then they got hurt because the one thing the Red Sox have not been able to do, despite staying around 500 for most of the season, is stay healthy. And it's been unfortunate because there's a lot of fight in that team. Now, as someone who's not a Red Sox fan, I'm okay with that. But as someone who enjoys the sport of baseball and wants the Red Sox to at least be competitive, it's been unfortunate. But Jakes takes the mound, and we're going to stop this joke before it gets too old. It's probably too old now, but look, it is what it is.
Just like us.
I can say Mikey Sullivan's over it. He's listened to a lot of it now for the last 2 minutes.
Listen, we're just torturing the kid so he gets mad enough that he sends one over the fence. We're motivating him. We're here to help.
That's for sure. As the American League, their defensive setup here in this bottom of the second. Mentioned Jakes on the mound. He'll be throwing to Ethan Pan, who is finally finished getting his catcher's gear on, and he will go behind the plate for the next couple of innings. So Jakes and Pan, the battery, with an outfield left to right of Alec Rabiner. In left field, center fielder is Anderson Crompton, who started this game on the mound, and Reed Stern in right. Around the horn on the infield, Matty Ciampa now down at third base with Farrell at short, Levy at second, and Fry at first.
Sullivan, his last time up, he hit that bouncer up the middle and took advantage of a big shift in the outfield. As he takes strike one, noticeably, they're not putting that shift on in the outfield after he managed to get a double out of it. Watch him send this one to the left center gap now.
Gets underneath it, skies this one a mile high, well read the entire way. Rabiner, no problems with it.
And now we reintroduce this year's Home Run Derby champion, Connor Chin. Got hit by a pitch his last time up. Later came in to score off an erroneous attempted pickoff throw at third.
So the beautiful pencil bat back in play. And pitch is deemed high.
Fouls that one to the backstop. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Chin. Mentioned not just a three-sport athlete, technically four if you include skiing as well.
I think you can include skiing.
Oh, you definitely can. It's
I think
just
so.
Not necessarily one that you compete in. I can't name a mid-major skiing team around here, but you know.
There are high school skiing. There are multiple kinds of high school skiing teams. There's alpine and cross country.
If you compete in cross country, I still think you're a masochist. There is
any kind of cross country, running or skiing. Absolutely.
There's part the fun of skiing is going downhill. Like that is the fun part. The cross country part. Now I love watching it in the Olympics, but I do not envy anyone who does it, and anyone who chooses to do it I think is insane.
Full count now to Chin as that one comes in over his head, and I have to agree with you. How it's been explained to me is there are some people who genuinely enjoy jogging. Like they get the joy out of it. That's why they can do it as a regular exercise. I don't. And that'll be a walk for Chin. So the pencil bat still has not put a ball in play.
But it also has not been retired. It has won a home run derby and it has reached base twice. It now has an aura around it.
Now Miller comes up to the plate. Runner at first, one down. That first one's going to miss. High and away for ball one.
The key has got to be putting the ball over the plate, though. even with hitters this good, you just need to keep the ball moving. You got to keep the game moving as the sun is already starting to set behind us. We're only in the second inning.
I mean, listen, whether a batter is good or not, if you walk all of them, they're going to score eventually.
Well, yes. Miller.
This one might be playable, but traffic because of the base runner. But they might have him at second, and they do. Just barely snagged in the glove of the shortstop. Is that...
It's a nice play by Fry, first and foremost, down at first. Reading the play, knowing he had to throw over to Farrell, who was covering over from the shortstop spot. So ended up being retired 3-6 on the fielder's choice over at second, get the lead runner. Fry actually had a couple of plays there as that one might have been able to spin foul, catching that lip of the infield grass and rolling into the dirt. But Fry fields,
well, at first,
plays his position well.
At first it seemed like he was going to be in trouble with the traffic of the lead base runner as Chin was is sort of in his way. But then because they got in each other's way, Chin didn't get a good break at second and Fry was able to throw him out.
Swinging through that last pitch, and that will advance the base runner as that one didn't get too far away from the catcher, but far enough that Ethan Pan was not able to collect it and get it down to second base, as that time no hesitation, as scampering up 60 feet was the Padre base runner, the Pirate base runner I should say, as the two Pirates heading back-to-back Miller and New.
Another high one. I think the count is 2-1. I might have missed a pitch while we were discussing the last play.
That one will tail foul outside at first. Definitely 2 strikes in the count now.
Oh yeah, no question.
So Jakes trying to get that strikeout. That will bring up the second out.
That would bring up the third out. There's 2 down with a runner at second after the flyout by Sullivan and the fielder's choice grounder by Miller. There are 2 down here, so Jakes with a chance to get the first shutout frame of the day. But this ball will have to be caught.
And it will be.
It is.
Good play out in right field. Read it well, and Stern makes no mistake. And so Jakes, after the American League had trouble retiring the NL in the first, just surrenders a couple of base runners, but no damage in the bottom of the second. And so we have played 2 full here in this 24th annual Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game. It remains a National League lead, but it's just a 2-run or a 3-run game, 8-5 NL. As we take another pause, when we come back, it'll be the 3rd inning here from Elliott Ballpark.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
We played 2. 24th annual Nate Pops Show Stack Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game. National League still holding their edge, but after a scoreless inning by the AL, an opportunity to play a couple as that one, though, up in the hands of Ciampa, and I think it might have hit him on the hand despite the swing, as for the first time we really get a hot pitcher. And by hot, I mean he's throwing heat, as the speed of that delivery from Max Gaito got right in on Ciampa and in on the fingers. Might have struck him.
Yeah, I don't know if it struck him or if it just hurt that much coming off the bat. Sometimes when you miss the sweet spot on a really hard pitch, it stings.
Gaito throwing so hard that he's lost his hat on the first 2 pitches. make it 3. I'm not sure how he can.
It's part of his delivery.
I'm not sure how he can control it, and he certainly will have a hard time fielding the position. That is, if anyone can catch up with the pitch.
Yeah.
Can only think back, mention backyard baseball and the fact that a pencil back deserves a spot in backyard baseball. There was always that one pitcher that had the hat fly off on every pitch because that was the only animation it had.
Or something like that. But honestly, what it flashes me back to is actually from the pro level. Makes me think of Hideki Okajima from the 07 champion Red Sox. Because he always looked at third base whenever he threw the ball. They would show slow motion replays of his pitches. His head would literally turn 90 degrees as he threw. And Gaito's doing something similar here.
As he shakes off a call. That's something you don't see a lot in an all-star game is shake-offs. But he did throw the shake-off as Svetliko doing the catching in this 3rd inning for the National League.
That's a full count.
Communicating.
Full count to Alec Rabiner.
Always hat stayed on.
And it
threw a
threw him
wild pitch,
off.
though, as that will throw ball 4.
Respect Rabiner for putting on a little bit of speed down the first base side. You know, always, you know, if the catcher loses track of a wild ball 4, you can run to second. That is allowed.
First pitch of the next at bat is a ball. So Rabiner down at first, and now Kian Dean who will pitch to the 4th for the American League. In with a runner on and 1 out. And grounds this one to the shortstop. There's 1 on the force. Not going to be enough time for the double play, but a 6-4 fielder's choice retires the hustling Rabiner. And now it's the National League's turn to try and put up a scoreless inning on the defensive side of the baseball.
Yeah, like we've said, Mason, so hard to turn a double play at this level. Not only is it a shorter base path, but the balls come at the infielders slower than they might at higher levels. And so it can be hard to like field the ball in time to make those quick throws on those short base paths to get that second out.
Theo Kaufman in the 7 spot, wearing 7.
And now down 0-2 in the count.
Well, there's clearly a difference that we've seen with Jakes, and now followed by the hard-throwing Max Gaito. They've not only been able to hit the zone, but they have been overpowering these hitters a little bit more. And certainly Gaito, who has just taken the speed up a notch.
Well, he's already got 2 outs with just a runner at first, so we might see 2 consecutive scoreless frames after how explosive those first couple innings were, as the count's going to stay 1-2 off that foul ball.
It is impressive. I'm surprised. I'm not sure exactly how much Gaito actually sees of his pitch as it goes to the plate, but he's got pretty strong accuracy despite the fact that at the end of the dime he's falling off the mound and his hat's going flying. That is a wild pitch there. You imagine he's one of those pitchers, and obviously this is Little League Baseball, so it's not a surprise. When he's hitting his spots, he's really good. When he's not, look out. That is strike 3.
That.
4-seamer gets him. And the backwards K, the first time we've seen a hitter go down looking today.
And that ends the inning.
Yeah, that should be the 3rd out. It is. It is. It's a Sunday in June, and it's been 80-plus degrees for most of the day. I don't blame them for not quite counting to 3 as easily as they might otherwise. So both teams throw up a donut in their last half innings. So after the American League gets a strong inning from Jakes, the National League gets the same from Gaito.
And he's going to lead off the next frame.
So midway through the 3rd inning, 2.5 innings down. National League plating 8 runs in the first before not scoring in the second. They lead it 8-5 over the American League, who scored 3 times to start the game before the National League rallied back. Still not quite sure if we're going to be able to get through a full 6. We'll see. If the speed and the pace of play continues like it has the last couple of half innings, we'll be fine. If it takes as long as the first inning, then we have other problems.
Well, that's going to depend in the immediate future on the pitching of the new AL pitcher, Jake Levi from the Angels.
And as we get set for this bottom of the third, we bring in Holden, who we always have with us at some point during our Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Games. And we've had outstanding Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Games before, but this may be the nicest weather we've ever had for a game. This is, if this doesn't scream summer, I don't know what does.
Yeah, start with the positives, Mason. This is good. Yeah, fantastic weather. Blessed with that. Finish the regular season, look into a playoffs, and use this as our timely All-Star break to showcase our best players. This is great. What a great day.
And we started this day with a home run derby, and 9 of 14 players hitting a home run, an outstanding battle, a new champion after Mikey Sullivan last year. You get the pencil batted Connor Chin taking home the crown. It's been a great representation, as you said, of what Brookline Youth Baseball is.
Yeah, the world and the league belong to the young. The 11-year-old took it for the second year. Hopefully the 11s that are looking up to this year's 10s, next year's 11s feel the same way, that anything's possible here. It's great.
And then, of course, Sportsmanship Award this year goes to Connor Fry of the Orioles, and what an amazing award that is, and what a great representation of the league he's been this year.
Certainly, well-deserved. What a kid. Putting his time and commitment in when he didn't get to enjoy the field play, but wanted to be around. He did the right thing. Credit to his parents, credit to him especially. What a good job.
We work around the technical issues that always happen. First out recorded. As now both teams settling a little bit in here after a very high-scoring first inning. 11 runs between the two sides in the first inning. Now the pitching and the defense have taken center stage over these last couple innings. But just how has it been? Another year of Brookline Youth Baseball coming toward its playoffs and its close. Just how has 2024 been for the league and for these teams?
It was only a matter of time before the pitching took over. The skills are getting better and better. This, as far as I could tell coming in, was on paper the most competitive 16 league. I think the way it shakes out, injuries and weather aside, it looks like that, and the playoffs are anyone's guess. And it's a question of offense and defense. Certainly we've had some high-scoring games, but we've had some really close one-run games too. And my hope is that, frankly, we see more of those in the playoffs where the best team wins in a tight matchup.
And you mentioned a couple of 11-year-olds winning the home run derby. Impressive to see the depth. I mean, you have, and you also have a 10-year-old competing, well, the younger Dean in this All-Star game. So it's not just 11 and 12-year-olds. The youth of the 10-year-olds coming up and competing in this All-Star game. Pretty impressive.
It's fantastic. Athleticism and hustle, size doesn't matter. The results speak for themselves. And Ashin is an All-Star, a 10-year-old All-Star. That's great. And he has a bright future.
Can't imagine that. First of all, I did not look like any of these 10-year-olds. Certainly these 11 and 12-year-olds. I see some of these kids, they're like 6'4". Now they're about 6'4", 120, which is they'll grow into that body. But obviously, Brookline Youth Baseball is so much talent in so many different size packages.
Speaking of, there's Mason Vo with a single, going opposite way to right center. Good for him.
But it obviously all starts with the families and outstanding players, but the families that get them to the ballpark day in, day out, support these teams both near and far, and it's great to see these families back every year as well. It really is a family affair.
And that's what's especially nice about today is how many folks are out here today on both sides, on the first base line, the third base line, all around our outfielders, just watching, enjoying the showcase that we have. The weather is a big draw, but coming out here with the bunting, with the banners, Star Spangled Banner into everyone's walk-up songs. This is a day at the ballpark that you don't want to miss.
I mean, it definitely feels like an all-star game, and it looks like any professional game would be put on with that bunting, with all the banners out there, the walk-up song. I mean, these kids obviously have a blast at it. I'm not sure how many of them. Now, luckily, I've heard mostly AC/DC, Metallica, good music. This is important as well. It seems like these kids, they don't just walk the walk. They've got the style to back it up.
Indeed, indeed. And, it has to be said that, their family came before them. Many of them had older siblings play. Like our pitcher here, Jake Levy, his brother Noah, hit the go-ahead home run last year, right? So we talked about Ashin and his older brother's playing today. It keeps going year after year after year, and the style comes with it. Style and confidence. Let's have more of it, and then sportsmanship, as we've already talked about. That's key.
I will say, it is funny to read some of these player bios, and most of them very complimentary about their brothers, but there's a lot of sibling rivalry involved throughout the years as well. One of them calling their little bother in their official bio and then correcting it to say brother, which I still think is peak humor.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't see that. That's great.
But it is nice, and to have these brothers usually on the same team, and it just seems like it is such an outstanding group, not just on each team, but just the league as a whole. These players obviously go to school with each other, they know each other, they're friends on and off the field.
The league is great. We make a big town feel pretty small at points, right? How we bring all the public and private schools together, and people matriculate year after year. They go from here, and the key message for us is bridging this experience into the intermediate 13 and 14-year-old level, and then ultimately to the high school. Our high school team just had a varsity playoff campaign that was something that is a great accomplishment, and yet more to build on. The more we can showcase that, it gives players here this is a stepping stone to other things, and that's what I think we need to hope for more. We have a regular season, which is a focus for the town, and then we have all the banners in outfield, which is a summer focus where we can go compete against other towns. Hopefully we add another banner this summer, and as kids move on from their final 12-year-old, final small diamond season as 12s, I hope they should know they've got a home in Brookline to keep playing baseball throughout their years.
As you see a pitching change, Jake Levy starting this inning for the American League. National League adding to their lead, came into this bottom of the third with an 8-5 advantage. They have added to it. And so to the bullpen go the American League. Theo Kaufman will be the second pitcher in this inning, as we saw the American League have to do this in the first as well. Ethan Pan came in relief, and now it's Theo Kaufman's turn to come in and try and slow down this National League squad that has added to their advantage. But we did see a very competitive finish a year ago, and we expect the same here. It's the first time that Kaufman has gone on to the bump. And so an opportunity, even in an all-star game, to try something new.
This is great. Speaking of siblings, his older brother was an Oriole. He's here in support. So, the family affair sticks there as well. It's great.
When we talk about the Orioles, obviously, it goes back not just brother to brother, it goes back brother to father to sometimes grandfather, depending on who you are, with a team and an organization that has run through the Showstack family for 50 years.
Indeed. And, the sponsor on the Orioles back, Pino's Pizza, is always happy to sponsor, Arlen's Orioles. We've had fantastic sponsorships from local businesses all around. We have Coolidge Corner Dental, Otto's Pizza, Pino's. We've got Eagles Deli, Mary Gillock Real Estate, and Extra Innings Watertown's been a core sponsor. It's just great to have them. Mamala sponsored our softball, who, had an event today. We had Livite sponsor our seniors teams. Our sponsors are great too, so we do this in town with the help of our local businesses as well.
Oh, say it takes a village, and Brookline a pretty big village, but a village nonetheless that It's the sponsors, it's the family, it's the siblings, it's the staff like you and the coaches certainly that are usually family members, but
yeah.
it is really a full community affair as that one will end the inning. Any final thoughts, Holden, as we appreciate you stopping by as always?
Just love watching baseball. This is really what we all enjoy the most, and I myself enjoy it as well. Just coming out here and finally watching the kids play is the important part. There's a lot that goes into it, and thank you guys for broadcasting this. You guys do a great job. I can't wait to watch the replay, and I'm sure all our relatives that aren't here are going to be psyched to watch this too. So thanks so much.
As we see our ugly mugs on camera here, and I've been playing with a baseball the whole time. But Holden Hodgson, thank you for stopping by, and we see if the American League can turn around this deficit as we get toward the later stages on this gorgeous Sunday.
Thanks very much.
Jesse Mayfield Sheehan will rejoin me momentarily as we continue to motor through this 24th annual Nathaniel Pop Show Stack Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game. Don't go anywhere. The fourth inning to come next.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
We are past the midpoint of this Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game. National League adding a run to make this a 9-5 game as we head to the top of the fourth. Scheduled to play 6, we will see. It's really up to these hitters and pitchers, as well as the daylight that is rapidly fading behind us as we pass the 7:30 hour here on this Sunday night from just west of the great city of Boston. Mason Stauff alongside Jesse Mayfield Sheehan, Holden Hodgson, we appreciate him stopping by in the bottom of the third inning.
Yeah, sorry to take Holden away from you guys.
Oh,
sorry
no.
that you're stuck with me again.
I mean, if anything, they were disappointed that I stayed.
Aw. Be nicer to yourself, Mason.
Oh, thank you.
Self-deprecation is unhealthy.
Self-deprecation is how I get through my day, my friend.
No, you can have healthier habits than that. Anyway, I'm sorry that my lousy commentary is back on here. As Mikey Sullivan gets the first out on a 3-1 ground out and almost grazes the head of Osheen Dean.
Youngest All-Star we have in this year's iteration, just 10 years old, playing with his older brother Kian. But Osheen, as Holden mentioned, very much an All-Star in his own right, and cannot wait to see him over these next couple of years continue to literally grow, because as a 10-year-old he is still very much growing. But as a ball player, he's already pretty darn impressive.
And that smaller size actually helping him right now. He's got a 3-0 count.
Yeah, you have to be pinpoint accurate.
And not that time as he draws a 4-pitch walk.
Well, that's the thing. At this age level, you're really not sure. You come back in a year from now, Jesse, and you might not even recognize Osheen. He could be another 6 to 8 inches taller. You just never know with these young kids. They grow up so fast, literally.
Listen, if guys show up without a jersey number on, there's a good chance I won't recognize them anyway.
Again, the most notable one is definitely young Matty Ciampa, who I remember seeing last year, and he was a taller guy last year, but this year he has completely sprouted up like a beanpole. Now he just has to grow into the body that he just grew up into.
And now at the plate for the AL is Reed Stern, facing an 0-2 count after a couple swings and misses against Sullivan, with Osheen Dean at first and 1 out.
Sullivan, who will catch 3 innings in this All-Star game. This is his one opportunity on the mound.
That wild pitch allows Dean to go to second.
Dean, you can see just such a smart player for someone who is still just 10. Has swiped second and now takes third as 2 pitches consecutively get away from Sullivan, and gives the AL a chance to try and claw their way back in. We saw them score 3 times in the first. And now we'll score 1 here in the 4th as well, as that one splits the right side of the infield. Dean, who advanced first to second and second to third on consecutive wild pitches, scores without any type of play. And the AL back within 3, it's 9-6.
And that was tough because I believe it was Miller was covering first base for the NL, and he was staying close to the bag to help check on the runner. And that, as a result, just kind of left him in a position where he didn't quite react fast enough to handle that grounder, which normally, with nobody on base, it would have been right to him.
Sam Miller, who scheduled to play first in 4 of the 5 defensive innings he's out there. Sat out the 3rd defensively, now back out there in the 4th.
And now at the plate is Ethan Pan of the Angels. As that pitch gets away as well, and Stern is going to take second base.
I'll take what you're given in the American League, capitalizing on some miscommunication between pitcher and catcher. Pan, whose favorite highlight of the season was going 3 for 3, also a piano and flautist in his free time. Not sure what free time there really exists when you're 11 years old.
And the flout is such a difficult instrument.
Good Lord.
I apologize for nothing.
Pan
draws a walk.
That's fantastic. Can you tell it's been a long day for us as well when that's the level of humor that we have stooped to?
You may have stooped to it. I showed up here at that level of humor.
And here's Will Jakes, who season highlight for him is what he was doing on the mound in a May 9th victory against the Mets, where he threw 3 innings, didn't surrender a run, did not walk anybody, and struck out 7 of the 9 batters that he retired in that game.
Oh, and a steal is going to turn into a potential run here as Stern takes advantage of the throwing error.
And then Pan, alert to it, also took 3rd on the throw. So he moves an extra 60 feet and gives Jakes an opportunity to pull the AL back within 1. It's 9-7. Jakes, a big Sox fan, also a big Celtics fan, and of course it's a big week for the Boston Celtics, who will start their pursuit in the NBA Finals of banner number 18. And I don't know a single person in the city of Boston who isn't going to be glued to their television screens starting Thursday night, at least as we are viewing it now. As that one nearly a sliding grab out in center, but it just gets down in front of Max Courier, and the AL is right back into this game. It is 9-8.
A great effort by Courier out in center. You can't take anything away from him for not being able to make what would have been an incredible catch, but instead an RBI single for Jakes. Pulls the AL within 1.
By the time this broadcast is fully edited and published, we hope that the Boston Celtics are on their way to that 18th banner. It's been too long since this city has had a title, which by Boston standards is very little time.
It's been a whole 5 years, Mason.
It's too long. It's too long.
And that's going to be 3 strikes and out for Connor Fry. Second out of the inning.
NWHL Boston almost ended that drought.
That's true.
Took it to a game 5 against Minnesota before falling in the decider up in Lowell. And I guess I should clarify, nothing against Major League Rugby, where Major League Rugby team that plays down in Quincy did win the MLR title last year. But in terms of the Big Four, it's been too long for Bostonians' liking.
And actually, since you mentioned the PWHL, we forgot to mention the Boston Pride, who claimed consecutive championships back when they were still playing in the Premier Hockey Federation in 2021 and 2022. So really, it's only been 2 years.
Yeah, this is the problems we have in Boston. There are so many teams. It's beautiful. It means that there's never not something to cheer on. If you're searching for something, there's something to cheer in this city. And realistically, if you haven't won a title in the last 30 days, it's too long. we are an impatient bunch.
That is absolutely true.
As Anderson,
listen, I've driven
Crompton,
on the roads around here. I can tell you, we're all impatient.
Dino Panza,
full count
in for the Orioles, continues to battle in this at bat as we have turned the lineup card over. The American League battling back, down a healthy margin after getting up 3-0. It was an 8-run inning for the National League.
But the AL has recovered well defensively.
They have, and it had started with their pitching. It was a good way to finish things in the first inning after a tough start. Good job by Pan to come in, settle down the NL from there, as that is going to be an out.
And that is going to be the third out. I'm not sure what the point of confusion was for Jake Levi. He didn't even run.
Yeah, I think
I'm
Levi
not
is
sure.
saying that.
Is he saying it went off his foot? That's the only thing I can imagine, is that he thought it went off his foot and was a foul ball.
Sounds like that's what he's saying. And either way, you can see the assistant coach of the Orioles trying to talk to him and say, you just got to run. But now the two umpires are talking it over. Levy very
I mean, if
clearly.
he gets this overturned, then he was right not to run, because
Yeah,
that
that's
adds
true.
to your argument.
And
He wins
he
wins the overturn.
They're going to keep him at the plate. I mean, he certainly was adamant right from the get-go that struck him in the batter's box. So he will extend this at bat, and the National League's going to need to send their defense back out onto the field.
And now the young man with the Star Wars theme as his walk-up song gets a new hope here at the plate.
Oh, come on.
Hoping to
There we go.
strike back against the NL defense.
While everyone else needs to return, yes, we get it.
Oh, come on, Mason. No need to be a downer about that. You're being a real menace right now.
Stop it.
Stop attacking me.
I will have my revenge.
Well, that one's going to miss for ball one, so since the first one was a foul ball, it'll be a 1-1 count to Levi.
And his hobby when not playing baseball is hockey, and he puts that with an exclamation point, so I will enunciate as well.
Yeah, back up, dude.
We've attracted a small herd around us too, Jesse. And
I
like
think it's
Ewoks.
more so the
They're about the size of Ewoks.
I've infected you. You've come over to the dark side with me.
Oh, they have cookies.
Yeah, exactly. That one's gonna miss. 2-2 the count to Levi now, with the potential tying run in scoring position with Jake's at second.
His
And
highlight
Panza
of the
at
year,
first.
Jake's highlight of the year was picking off a runner at first when he was catching. Threw behind the base runner, got the tag. Always fun to do that as a catcher.
And that's Jake Levi, not Jake's, who's at second.
Correct. We hope it. We're not sure which is Levy or Levi. His highlight of the year. Swings and spoils this one again over by the big diamond that's just behind us here at Elliott.
You know what? I'm gonna blame Arlen for that one, because he put a word like phonetic in front of a bunch of 10 and 11-year-olds.
That's true. I think he put it probably to their families and their coaches, who should have been able to use the word phonetic in context. But the bases are loaded, and the American League has the lead run now into scoring position. So a very lengthy at bat as that was the at-bat that started with what appeared to be the final out of the inning. But after it was deemed to have hit the batter in the batter's box, Levi stayed in play and was able to eventually work his way aboard on balls. So that will leave no base open and an opportunity for the American League to regain the lead, or at the very least tie it with the tying run just 60 feet away. That one knocked aside as Dylan Farrell steps up in the most important at-bat so far in this All-Star game.
It's bases loaded and 2 outs, Mason. How can you not love baseball?
It's the top of the 4th and what is scheduled to be a 6-inning game, but I don't know, based on the way that the light is fading here, if 6 is what we're getting. So this could be the turning point. Going up against young Mr. Mikey Sullivan, who is trying to escape out of here with the lead still.
This is that one. The count is 2-1 to Farrell.
It's a knee knocker as he drags the hitter off the plate.
Farrell grounded out to short to end the 2nd inning, his last time up. Before that, reached on an infield single. Takes strike 2 there, 2-2 now the count.
There's a Red Sox at 3rd, an Oriole at 2nd, an Angel at 1st.
Not in the outfield?
No, or the infield. As that one grounded to Sullivan, who snags it, underhands it to 1st, and Sullivan is able to get out of there with the lead. So the bases left loaded by the AL. We head to the bottom of the 4th. National League has seen their lead trimmed down to 1. They try and add to their lead and get it back to a healthier margin as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. What a huge play by Sullivan, who did not have his best stuff on the mound, but he still keeps it a 1-run National League lead.
Absolutely clutch play defensively by Mikey Sullivan there. I mean, this is a guy whose glove you trust when he's behind the plate. They've trusted it out in center field, and now they trust it on the mound. I mean, that was beyond huge. Game on the line, and he comes through with a big snag there.
So now the American League turns things to Kian Dean. And Dean's responsibility is to try and make this inning not only scoreless, but fast. Wants to make sure that the American League has a full opportunity to bat in the next inning. We're more and more looking like this is going to be a 5-inning game as opposed to 6. That is still up in the air, but it's going to be quick. And yes, it does look like 5 innings is what we're going to have. So the American League is going to get one last crack at it, but they need to get their bats back up there in order to have that full crack. They're down by 1. They don't want it to be any more than that.
And Kian Dean is going to be facing the top of the order for the National League, Courier, Chase, and Sullivan. So he's going to have his hands full with this inning.
He'll be pitching, will Kian Dean. Looks like they've changed things around. It was scheduled to be Anderson Crompton behind the plate in this 4th inning. That's not Crompton. I believe
they've gone rogue on us.
Yeah, they have. That's Dylan Farrell of the Red Sox. So Farrell behind the plate.
Yeah, that AL coach, he's a rogue one.
Mr. Grinch. And so things moving around a bit, but we do know it is that top of the National League order, and we'll see what Courier can do. Want to thank again our outstanding coaching group, as they have put in the work once again all season long. B. Arlen Showstack, who's on the camera duty today, as he always is for these ASPN HD productions. Usually he's directing. Today he's directing, producing, editing, and running the camera, with Chris Murphy bouncing around like a bunny rabbit, connecting cables, disconnecting cables, making sure that we're recording. Otherwise, we're just here talking to ourselves, which, you know, we could do. We do that a lot. That's why we're crazy. But as that one lined out to right field and 1 up, 1 down, American League, so far so good in the bottom of the fourth.
Quick one pitch out, exactly what the American League wants in this situation. You've made note of the issue of potential darkness creeping up on us. They want to get out of this inning fast.
This is Arlen's 49th year, so next year will obviously be a big milestone. 50 years, starting with what he was doing with his father, Nate. Pops, as he was affectionately known in these BYB circles, as that one skips up, eats up O'Sheen Dean. Nothing that he could do there, throws it back to his brother. But Arlen would probably much rather be at the beach than he. Well, this may be the only place he'd rather be than the beach.
I was about to say, I think
this is about the
we
only
have
thing.
49 years of evidence of knowing exactly where he wants to be, and where he wants to be is right here, right now.
So he's about 2
maybe
weeks, 2 weeks away from being able to head to the beach.
Yeah, maybe he'd rather be in the dugout coaching the team while someone else handles the camera duties, but that's not a luxury we have right now.
Well, there's a reason that he works so well with Mark Kaufman, his assistant coach, who's also would prefer to be near the ocean than just about anywhere else.
I mean, we're on a coastal state. We're close enough.
We are. Although, depending on time of day, you're about as far from the ocean here in Brookline as you would as if you tried to actually drive to either the north or south shore. As one thing Boston does not do well is traffic.
That is true.
Throw down to second, gets past Ciampa, but runner stays at second base.
Well, he advances to second base. That was a wild pitch.
Yep. So got up first to second, but could not advance another 60 feet as that one was backed up quickly.
And a 1-1 count to Mikey Sullivan.
Very different, though, Bill Hamilton, who leads this Angels squad. He prefers headed to Utah. Beaches in Utah, not quite the same connection. Also
definitely very different.
Also a bluegrass
The beach
musician.
versus a landlocked state.
Which, you know what, I've gotten really into bluegrass lately, and I love the music of bluegrass. Also a 6th grade science teacher. Man of many interests, Mr. Bill Hamilton, who puts his phonetic pronunciation as Bill. Thank you. That helped. That was helpful.
Listen, phonetic is a hard word for people to understand, Mason.
The phonetics of the word phonetic are not easy.
I know. It's like you have to take the word phone and then the word tick.
We're going we're too deep into the weeds here. Seth Schofield of the Red Sox loves coaching lacrosse and alpine skiing. So we've got beaches, we've got Utah, and then we've got alpine skiing.
We've got all kinds of elevation from sea level. We got right at the sea level.
There's plenty of good skiing in Utah. I'm sure that Mr. Schofield could connect with Mr. Hamilton. The two of them would enjoy talking about Utah. As that one popped into the air, and Arlen almost had it. Missed it, though, with the bare hand. Did not lose the camera, though.
What do we call that? Network interference?
Yep. At the plate, Connor Chin. He has not been retired with the pencil bat. He has won a home run derby. He's been hit by a pitch. He has worked a walk.
And he's now working with a 1-1 count here in the bottom of the fourth.
Gotta say, there's a lot of smiling faces I've seen today at this All-Star game as that one goes up against the umpire, who didn't even flinch. Impressive. But I have to say that Connor Chin has not stopped smiling for the last 3 to 4 hours. But now he is focused and dialed in as he tries to add to this National League lead, which is just at 1 right now, but 2 runners on the base paths. Swings through it.
Down on strikes.
The pencil bat can be retired.
I feel like a great myth has just died.
No. We have to congratulate as we continue to work through our outstanding coaches. I want to congratulate the Chase family, John Chase of the Padres, expecting child number 4 any day, at least when this was created. So for all we know, there could be a 4th Chase, although the fact that he's here probably indicates that baby Chase number 4 is not quite here yet. but also talk about someone who has many talents, owns a CPL restaurant, and recently started with the Brookline Fire Department. Who has time for hobbies, he writes. With 4 kids, a restaurant biz, and working at the fire department, he's right. But
I'm surprised he has time to sleep.
He has 4 kids. He doesn't.
That's
true.
The
answer to that
you know
is
what?
he does
I walked
not.
into that one. You're absolutely right.
But congratulations to the Chase family. Certainly will put a lot of pressure on his co-coach John Galula, who will probably have to take things over if baby number 4 happens in the next week. As that one flown out to center, played there on the catch by Theo Kaufman, and no damage done as the American League gets the job done. They still trail by 1, but they put up another scoreless inning for the National League side. And as we head to the final inning of play, as we're only going to play 5 due to darkness here in the 24th annual Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game, it's the National League 9 and the American League 8.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
So it all comes down to this. Top of the 5th inning. We don't know if we'll play a bottom regardless, but for the American League, this is it. 5-inning game, down by 1, and Matty Ciampa stepping in to lead things off, representing the Orioles in a 9-8 ball game. Well, it doesn't really matter what year it is, Jesse, as that one ripped to center by Ciampa. It seems like it always comes down to the wire, which is exactly what, as Holden Hodgson was mentioning, this is what it needs to be. It needs to come down to the wire, and it needs to be a really exciting game to watch as a fan.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
It's Ciampa, Rabiner, and then Kiandian for this American League squad as they try to rally back. They led this run 3-0. National League went off in the bottom of the 1st, and the American League has not led since.
But they've been clawing their way back as that throw is going to get away, and the tying run goes to second, and he's going to try for third. He's caught in a pickle. We got a pickle here at the All-Star Game.
Ciampa got gutsy, and he is tagged out.
Oh.
He got greedy, and he pays for it. An outstanding play defensively as the National League recovers, and Ciampa, after a leadoff single, retired on the base paths.
And what did I say before, Mason? When you make a decision on the base paths, you have to commit to it. Otherwise, you end up in situations exactly like that. Meanwhile, Alec Rabiner facing a 2-1 count against the pitcher Cal Thorne as he fouls that one off for strike 2.
We can continue to go through our coach bios as John Galula, who likes golf, tennis, and biking. I like 2 of those things. I'm not good at golf, but I love it, and I enjoy playing tennis, not that I get a chance. I don't dislike biking, but...
It dislikes you?
Yeah, I guess there's that. John Miller of the Pirates.
Strike 3.
Enjoys thinking about baseball, skiing, hanging out with his dog Ripley.
A Helldivers player.
Yep, that's outstanding.
Well, with all the Fortnite players we've seen in our bios today, it's nice to see something a little bit of variety.
John Courier, also of the Pirates, enjoys cooking Italian food. Ooh, that sounds good. Cooking Italian food sounds pretty darn impressive right now.
I hate to interrupt these riveting bios, but we are down to the last out of the game.
Yeah, we're gonna get through it all. We're gonna get through it all.
Well, as Kiandian, the last hope for the American League, takes ball 1 there. It's a 1-1 count with the bases empty and 2 down here in the top of the 5th, and the NL leading the AL by 1.
Jeff Greenberg of the Mets, the last coach that we got a bio for, enjoys watching his kids in action, aka driving them all over the place, cooking, reading, and trying to stay in shape, which I appreciate, as Dean hits this one to center. It's played there out in center field, and the National League is going to win this as Max Courier hauls it in. We will see. It looks like this will do it. Everyone coming out of their dugouts, and I believe the National League is going to take this one by a final score of 9-8. Max Courier.
Max Courier
Puts it away to end the game. As they put in their sixth inning lineup in the fifth.
That's why they threw us off.
Yeah, you know what? Either way, the National League able to hold off a hard-charging AL by a final score of 9-8 to win it, and a couple big defensive plays late on. Most notably, able to get Ciampa in the pickle second to third after he hit the leadoff single, and then a good play at the end. But don't forget, one inning before, Sullivan, who had worked himself into a jam on the mound, able to get the comebacker with the bases loaded and 2 out to keep the lead where it was at 9-8, and that is the final tally that we would have. So darkness causing this game to finish after 4.5, but I wouldn't want that game to end any other way other than it comes down to the final inning and a 1-run game, and it comes down to the National League, who is able to close out this one and win it by 1.
What a thrilling game this was, Mason. Truly, and I'm happy we got to see it.
Holden Hodgson will take us away from here and crown our victors and award the trophies. And then we will wrap things up.
American League 8, National League 9. Hats off. Nice win. It didn't feel close to start, but you let him back in, and it was a close game. Well done, both sides. Lots of good things we saw tonight. Lots of good things. Okay. They were fighting words. Save it for the playoffs. They're coming next. That's when the real hard work comes. All right? You guys are all All-Stars. You should feel very, very proud of yourselves and your families that work so hard to get you here all the time and help you make yourselves All-Stars. Right? On the broadcast, we're talking about the siblings that have gone before you, like Max over there. Good job, Max. And you know, it's important year after year after year. Some of you, this will be your last time on the on this diamond before going to 50-70 or wherever else. But you'll keep playing baseball. Some of you just getting started. Arsheen, I'm looking at you. Year after year. All right. Maybe another 11-year-old will take the home run derby, but we'll talk about that later. Now, I want to leave this moment to the coaches of each respective leagues to award all of their players a trophy and congratulate you on a great season so far. Save the good energy for the playoffs and leave the rest at home. All right, Coach Bill.
Hey, first in line, we've got Anderson Crompton. Come on up.
Hey, you're an all-star. Hey guys, can you wait? When you get the trophy, can you wave at the camera? Arlen's
2 spot, we've got Alec Ravener. Jacob Levy.
Right. Wait to the camera. Wait to the camera.
And number 14, Ethan Penn.
There it is. All right.
First up for the Red Sox, Dylan. Next, I think that since they're brothers, maybe you guys just want one trophy, right? You share it? No? Okay. Dean. Will Jakes.
I got wrist, bro. Boys, pay attention.
family, we got Maddie Roadrunner. Reed Stern. Theo Kaufman. Connor Perez. Dino Panza.
Let's have another round of applause for the American League All-Star team. Good job. And now it's my pleasure to hand the microphone over to the National League, the winning side.
All right, here we go. For the Pirates, Aiden New. Also for the Pirates, Svetley Ko. Sam Miller. And Max Courier. Respect, good job.
All right, from the New York Mets, we have Connor Chen. We have Mason Bowe. Max Gino. And Teddy Greenberg.
Teddy Tango!
All right, Padres, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Cal Thorne. Go, baby.
Hello, camera! Yeah!
Cam DeLilla.
Do him. You said best for last. Do him. Have to do me.
Mikey Sullivan. That's it. We have no more.
Curious George!
Ryan Cheek.
Curious George!
Some parting words. Once again, let's hear it for the champion National League.
And altogether, an outstanding Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game. The National League taking it by a final score of 9-8. Mason Stalf alongside Jesse Mayfield Sheehan on hand for all of it, including the home run derby to start things. Be sure to tune into both broadcasts if you hadn't had an opportunity. An outstanding home run derby leading into this outstanding All-Star game that came down to the wire, as it always seems to, Jesse. And now it's picture time and a lot of time to have fun, but all in all, just another great day here for Brookline Youth Baseball.
Absolutely great day for baseball. Some great baseball played, great efforts from both sides. You know, the great start from the AL, the huge answer from the NL, the huge efforts from the AL to claw their way back, make this a really nail-biting game, and then the NL finally holding on defensively for the win.
We want to thank Holden Hodgson for stopping by. We want to thank Chris Murphy, and we want to thank Arlen Shostak as well. So we are going to break, and we say thank you for tuning in. We will be back one final time to say goodbye. As the National League again takes this one by a final score of 9-8. Final thoughts to come, and then we send you on your way on this Sunday.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd, and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
The 24th annual Nate Pops Showstack Major A Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game certainly brought out the stars, and now as the stars come out on this Sunday night, as well as the Mosquitoes, we get ready to wrap things up here. Mason Stauff alongside Jesse Mayfield Sheehan. Jesse, just an outstanding day for Brookline Youth Baseball, for these players, for the National League, which won this year's version of the All-Star Game by a final score of 9-8. Altogether, a thrilling game and a great day of baseball.
Absolutely thrilling day, hard-fought game from both sides, from both sets of players and coaches, and from our lovely crew covering this one. I think, as you said, the stars are starting to come out. I think we've all earned ourselves a rest after a great full day of baseball.
Well, we thank you for tuning in. If you did not get a chance to tune in for the Home Run Derby, be sure to watch that broadcast as well. Both outstanding ASPN HD productions. Again, we want to thank Holden Hodgson for stopping by. I want to thank Chris Murphy and, of course, Arlen Showstack for producing this outstanding broadcast. We want to say so long from Brookline. For Jesse Mayfield Sheehan, my name is Mason Stauff saying so long, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. This has been, again, the Nate Pops Showstack Brookline Youth Baseball 24th Annual Major A All-Star Game. We'll see you next time.